Hi, welcome to Clover's Corner. I'm Talia, and it's been so long you probably forgot about this podcast. In fact, it's been like 7 months. I've ghosted you, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm back. You might not have even realised that I'm in a new location, but that's fine. We'll get into it. This episode, I'm going to kind of do it like an Emma Chamberlain style, where it's just one topic we're talking about. So, sorry if you thought we were going to catch up on all of pop culture from the past 7 months, but that's not happening. So you might recall that last year, was it last year or the start of this year? Either way, I had a New Year's resolution for moving out, and it got to November and I just thought, it's not going to happen this year, let's just go back to doing a podcast in my bedroom because I'd given up, and the second I thought about it, I got a house. So it's really, really hard to get your first rental. And everyone knows that, but once you go through it, you really understand it. We were denied for probably hundreds of reasons that you never find out about, by the way. They just tell you denied. But this was the quickest turnaround of a response we got, and we finally got a house, which I'm super happy about. Because now I can just record a podcast whenever I feel like. I used to have to pack everything away, and that became tedious, so now I can just record, and it's awesome. And I'm loving my whole new setup. I've got a desk here, and I've got like a little music making studio desk area over there. And because I've got a computer now, I've gotten back into computer games. So I'm actually pretty damn good at Fortnite. Not to brag, but I didn't think I would be after it being years since I'd played. But I got back into it really quickly, and now I'm pretty good at it. I usually come second or third. Like most games I do, which is pretty crazy. I've got my notes on my phone here because I'm just going to forget everything that I wanted to talk about because of how long it has been since I've even done this. I'm surprised I remember how to set this up. So, yeah, I moved house. For those who don't know, which is probably everyone, I've never moved house before. I've lived in the same house my entire life. Well, since I was 3 years old, and I don't ever remember moving, so it was a weird experience. Like, my childhood house is still there, my parents still live in it, but it is very strange moving all of your belongings into a completely new location. And I was just so ready. Like, the past year, I was just like, I need to leave. I need to get out. And this isn't like a shade to anyone in particular or anything, but like, living in a house that's unable to be clean was really getting to me. And by that I mean I lived in an old house where you would clean it and like literally the day after it didn't look any different because there was so much dust and debris and holes in the walls and mouse poo everywhere and things like that. And so I just needed to get out, and I'm old enough and I'm ready, so it was time, and I'm really happy with where I am now, so that's good. And it just re-solidifies the fact that school does not prepare you for all the adult things of your future. It might prepare you for education purposes, like going into further study or just basic skills of math, English, those kinds of things. But there's so many things that I'm continuing to learn that I can understand why an entire generation of people feels like a failure all the time. Like, there's so many things. Like, no one tells you how to set up water or your bills into your own name, how to shop efficiently for food, what services you do and don't need. Just, like when the bin, like even things like when the bins go out and when to bring them in. Just so many things that you need to do constant research for, and changing your address on like 100 different services it's pretty crazy. There's like so many things that you need to learn, and you can be as prepared as you want, but you always need something else on the list. Like, every time we finish the list of, okay, we've got everything, we're ready to move, we realized, we've got one more thing to buy and another thing to buy. We've probably done 5 to 10 Bunnings trips in between moving and getting here at this point. It's crazy. So it's been about 3 weeks now, and it's been probably almost a month by the time this goes up, and it's only just hitting me that this is my house. Like, I wanted this for so long that now that I've actually got it, it doesn't feel real. And I'm sure you can relate if you've ever had like a really big desire before. But I keep thinking that someone's gonna knock on the door and accuse me of squatting, like I don't actually live here, or that I'll wake up from this dream. But yeah, I'm so happy about it. Until meeting my partner, I didn't realize how much of a simplistic person I am, and by that I mean the simple desire just to move out was at the top of my list. Like some people, like I need a house with this, and this. Other desires were so normal that it's actually surprising we got denied for so many houses. But to be honest, it's because they're looking for certain demographics of people and just different life situations that I can't blame them too much, but it does make it really difficult. So if I had to give any advice for people moving out for the first time as someone who's just done it, these are the things that I would recommend. So first of all, you want to start buying small things while you're saving or while you're waiting for that house to become available. So by small things, I don't just mean like cleaning supplies and like storage and things like that. Those are all useful though, but also just smaller appliances. Like if you know that you like having a smoothie every day, make sure you buy a blender. Or same thing like coffee machine or a toaster, and even just kitchen utensils and stuff like that. Like it just doesn't cross your mind sometimes because you're just so used to having the items that when you no longer have them, it's just like, oh shit, I don't have everything that I need. So I'd recommend that. And then I'd also Google everything in your state, city, county, whatever, that requires you to change your address, and do it as soon as possible, like the day of moving, so that you don't get in trouble for one, but also that any mail or bills or anything isn't sent to your old address. So get that out the way as soon as possible. And you will find that there are so many things you don't think you need to change your address on that you do. Like voting, that sounds really silly, but voting, even just like Medicare, doctors, all those things, you need to let know that you've moved, which there should be a system that just updates these things, but there isn't. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Another thing is that if you have a pet, just know that it will take time for them to adjust. I'm very lucky that my parents' house is still there and they miss her a lot, so I can just drop her off if they need a visit and she can still be used to her old house as she gets used to this one. She's actually done really well though. She likes to wake up really early though, which I'm still getting used to because my parents wake up really early, and so I would be asleep and she can just do her own thing. But now, I don't know if you heard that, there was a loud car. But now that I live alone with my partner, we have to wake up when the dog wakes up. Well, I do, but I usually throw the ball for like 30 minutes and then calm her down enough to go back and have like a little bit of a nap, and then she can wake up. Otherwise, she'll just bark all day, all day long. And it is also interesting just like other things like learning new ways to get to work, and like I've had to catch a train for the first time, which I'm sure I have in other states. Like think I've definitely caught a train in Melbourne, but not in Adelaide. So it's like visiting a new city when you already live there. Like it's just a new area and stuff, which is cool. Which reminds me, because I had a list of really wafty goals now looking back at it of this year. Like I had a lot of New Year's resolutions. I think I had 10. And I didn't accomplish most of them, but the ones that I really wanted to accomplish are the ones that I did, so I'm really happy about that. Like, I thought I would be crossing a big fat X next to moving out, and I thought it wouldn't happen, but we did it with a month to spare, so I'm so stoked on that. Another thing is I briefly mentioned, I think once, that I was keen to lose some weight, and I've achieved that as well. I am only a few kilos heavier than my goal, but my goal was kind of a bit low for me anyway. So if I don't lose any more, I'm completely happy. But I've lost about 7 to 8 kilos, which is pretty impressive for me. I have always been the same weight my entire life, And then I gained probably 5 kilos when I went on birth control for the first time. And then the rest just by being in a happy, stable relationship and on my antipsychotic medication, which is pretty common for you to gain weight on. And one day I looked in the mirror and stood on the scale and I was like, oh, I've gained a lot. I was by no means fat, or I was just like more overweight than I should be for my height. And so now I'm like fine, which is really good. And I'm probably stronger than I've ever been because of the constant walking everywhere, which is really good. So I'm feeling good. All my dreams have come true, except for like winning the lottery, I guess. Wow, people are being noisy today. But my other goal that I did not accomplish though is I wanted to make 24 videos this year. I didn't even come close. I think I went like 200 something days between videos, which is crazy. But now that I've got my setup, it's just like really convenient to turn the camera on and plug the microphone in and record. So it's great. By the way, if you ever have suggestions of things to talk about on the podcast, I'm more than happy to listen to them and potentially talk about it on there, because I know there are people watching, but there's very few people that actually interact, like comment and like talk to me online. So feel free to talk or message me. I don't bite, I promise. Probably the strangest thing about moving out is that I didn't bring any of my childhood dogs with me. Obviously I have Clover, but both of my childhood dogs are now dead, which is strange because it's almost like I didn't get a chance to move out because I promised I wouldn't leave them behind. So I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, it's been about 7 months since we said goodbye to Blaze, and now I just have one dog, which I've never just had one dog really ever, but Clover has so much energy she can make up for 2 dogs, but she gets plenty of dog interaction and people interaction, so she's okay. And I don't think I'm ready for another dog, honestly, anyway. So when it comes to achieving your goals and just things that you want to do, I know it sounds really cheesy and corny, but like, don't try and put a time frame on it. Like, obviously, having an end goal is motivating, but if you don't succeed and you succeed later than that, don't pressure yourself too much. Obviously, depending on what it is. But like, for moving out, I wasn't in a situation where it was like a dire thing where like I could have moved out at any time. It was fine. But my goal was at the end of this year, just because I'm 27 and I'm just ready to move out. And so the fact that I actually accomplished it in the time frame that I wanted was good. But it was also good that I had like a backbone. Like, I wasn't going to be homeless or kicked out or anything like that, which is good. I also posted it on my Instagram stories, but there was so many good albums this year. It was almost all my favorite artists that made good music, which isn't surprising. But someone that did surprise me was Charli XCX. Obviously, I was aware of who she was. I'd heard her music before, but that new Brat album probably sonically changed my brain forever. Like, there's just something about it. It's all the music that I want to make. Like, I love that sound of like pop, electronic, whatever you want to call it. It's just so good. If you are ever interested on more music reviews and what I think about things, feel free to talk to me though, because I love listening to you guys. Okay, so this was like a bit of a shorter episode, but I just wanted to update you on what's been going on and where I'm at. So there will definitely be more videos and podcast episodes coming out next year. Okay, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye!